the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and happy Friday everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week and hopefully you're excited for tomorrow. I know we were very excited when we worked at those hotels. Every other Saturday, you guys, they would tell us, they would give us a liberty, okay? So the whole deal was you could go on a Saturday day off if only you were willing and capable of almost achieving the impossible. Because basically the requirements for having a day off were so incredibly ridiculous and unfounded that it just kept you like hoping that it was going to happen, but most of the times it didn't. I mean, I can count with my two hands the amounts of libs, that's what they called it, that I got there in 11 years. So just think about that. And I wanted to bring to light something that I came across while doing the research for all this media exposure that we're doing right now, that we're having to do, that we're being left with no choice but to do it. And guess whose name keeps coming up on this research, you guys? I'll give you a clue. It starts with an A, B, C, news. And it's a very short segment, you guys, that I wanted to react on, but you will see from what's on this segment a little bit of the things that we need to really start asking ourselves in terms of the enablers of what goes on day in and day out in these hotels. So without further ado, here is ABC News Nightline. So this time is not their 2020 segment. Now it's Nightline, okay? Let's take a look at what these people are saying.
The Church of Scientology has strenuously denied that its leader, David Miscavige, has ever been violent toward any staff members. But after spending 27 years within the organization, one senior staff member says he could no longer withstand the climate of violence that he says was created and encouraged by its leader.
All right, you guys. Here's the first reaction. Shout out to Martin Bashir. Reporter Martin Bashir, that another one of these reporters that these multi-million-dollar national corporate juggernauts are putting in their payroll. And once again, let's highlight the fact they get paid handsomely. And Mr. Bashir has a history of being a manipulator and a deceptor himself. But he stood no chance when he met Marty Rathbun. Marty Rathbun ran circles around Bashir. And we know about Mr. Bashir's deceptive practices from a little interview he did on Princess Diana. Another one of these victims that was part of a cult, the royal family. Or are we not allowed to call it that either? They sure are very good friends with Tom Cruise. So I digress. Martin Bashir is the person that you're going to see Marty Rathbun in action manipulate right there on the camera. Let's take a look.
Marty Rathbun says he decided to end his long career in the Church of Scientology after he saw longtime friend attacked by David Miscavige.
Martin, I
Okay, you guys. Before we dive in any further, the fact that reporter Bashir highlights that Marty was there for 27 years, and the fact that it just goes to show you how these reporters don't know a single shred of a thing about what they're reporting on, you guys. And that is what's truly quite shocking to me, because I've never thought that you could get away with running a multi-million-dollar corporation and, you know, lauding yourself as some very legitimate corporation out there doing the work of journalism. The only reason these brands have clout is because of the money they bring. And supposedly because of the quality of journalism they are in the business of providing to the public. But if these reporters are data mining information and manipulating that information in a way where they only go where they want to go and they don't want to investigate. They only want to write down what a person shows up at their door and starts talking to them. As you're going to see here, and this is a larger conversation we need to have about the media, and this time is shout out to a lot of other media outlets out there that did the same thing that ABC News did. Whole thing with Marty Rathbun getting just about every last reporter obsessed with wanting to have access to Rathbun so they could ask him, what was it like to get hit by David Miscavige? Is it me, you guys? Or would it be so ridiculous that you would get access to a high-level executive? Let's take Ghislaine Maxwell, for example. Let's say Ghislaine Maxwell went to the media and told them that, yes, she worked for Jeffrey Epstein for 25 years. But you know what? After she saw Jeffrey hitting a staff member, she totally broke. That was her boundary. She was like, you know what? In 25 years, I've seen it all. But after I saw him hit someone else, that was all I could do. So I want you guys to understand that perspective, because Marty Rathbun wishes to God his problem was that David Miscavige was beating people. And you know what? Marty, the good little manipulator and gaslighter that he is, he didn't get to where he got to on the org board, you guys, up there, by not proving himself worth that to his co-conspirators, including but not limited to the man you see on the screen right now. So let's now really analyze how Mr. Zero minus zero critical thinking skills Bashir, who thinks he's just got the interview of a lifetime in his hands. Let us just see how Marty Rathbun walks all over him. It's going to be entertaining. Take a look.
I swear to you, I was there, and it was that moment of truth for me where I either am going to put this guy's lights out for good, or I'm going to remove myself from the environment so I don't.
Interesting. The audacity of this man, you guys, literally knows no bounds. Because you know what they teach you in Marty Rathbun's sex checker school? To look below the surface. Below. I mean, we're talking like submarine Titanic expedition type of below the surface. Right? Because of Mr. Bashir's sheer negligence at best, stupidity at worst, of getting acquainted with the facts so Marty wouldn't be able to run circles around him. See, that's the problem. When Martin sits there purporting that he's a reporter from ABC News. Watch out, guys. Here comes ABC. About to break some news. But Marty just gets a free pass and gets to launder his image with the help of these reporters. Launder his image so that he has the victim complex that he once reported on. Because you know what? If it wasn't for David Miscavige, Marty Rathbun would have been happy in those hotels. In fact, nothing broke Marty's heart except when he saw his little friend, his little co-conspirator, his little amigo, his little shorty beat up someone else. Imagine being Marty Rathbun, you guys. And I'm going to be speaking to the director that was at Gold doing all the films, Mitch, that already came forward with information about Marty's obsession with grooming young teenagers. Shout out to Marty Rathbun, like myself, in his Sex Checker School. Come to Sex Checker School by Marty Rathbun. That's it for roll call. Marty Rathbun entered the room. Okay, and we're going to discuss what was going on while Marty Rathbun was interrogating minors. While Marty Rathbun was out there interrogating, guess who else, you guys? Guess who else little Marty Rathbun thought he had the certificates to, dive into the self-admitted felonies that he was interested in finding out. Bingo. You know exactly who we're talking about. But now we're talking about the adult, the perpetrator. And yeah, let's not even say the word. You don't need to. Everybody knows. Everybody knows what we're talking about right now. Right? Or wrong? I mean, everybody knows except reporter Martin Bashir, you guys, who had access to ask questions, right? He got Marty Rathbun right in front of him. Let's see what else Rathbun distorts.
And that literally was what was going through my head. I cannot stand to watch this. I cannot live with this anymore.
Scientology spokesman Tommy Davis says that is a lie.
These are all people who were moved either by Mr. Miscavige or by their peers for
gross misconduct and malfeasance in their positions. We were glad that they were gone. And on top of that, the church has literally taken off explosively since they were gone. And frankly, to a large extent, because they're gone.
Since
I don't even want to comment too long on this PR man that Scientology threw to sanitize his image. Because, you know, guys, I was with him at the hotels in Clearwater. So I know him personally quite well. I was good friends with his wife, Feshback, you know, the bestie of Tom Cruise's ex, Katie Holmes. Jessica Feshbeck and I. She liked Bottega Veneta. She was a rich girl that ended up enslaved to go do David Miscavige's bidding. She was in the Sea Org. She was being trained by yours truly as an auditor, of all things. So little Tommy Davis was there when I was there. And he talks about malfeasance. What the hell are you talking about? He doesn't even know what the hell that means. He's just a parrot.
leaving the church, Marty Rathbun has said little about his experience until he gave a series of interviews to the St. Petersburg Times in Florida, published this summer. He set up a website inviting other Scientologists to make contact if they too are considering defection or have already left. He lives in an obscure location, far away from the power centers of the church. What would you like to see happen to Mr. Miscavige?
I would like to see him cease his continuing abuses.
Would you like to see him punished for what he's done?
I think he should have to pay the piper for what he's done. And what punishment that is, I don't know. Maybe the greatest punishment is the self-inflicted punishment of the recognition of what he's done.
Oh, isn't that nice, Marty Rathbun? I mean, you couldn't have watered that down more if you tried. And you know why, Marty? Because you and your master and commander, don't forget you were his junior, Marty Rathbun. Don't forget you were his slave. Don't forget that. So you're quite the little respectful man that you would just like him to recognize and just cease. And cease what exactly? What exactly? Beating adults. You would really love for him to stop beating adults. That's it. That's all you had to say. That's all you had your attention on. Interesting, Marty. Very, very interesting. And I want to thank you for putting that on the public record, because you know what? We're going to start questioning what has been put on the public record, because you know what? We smell a rat and we smell a dead fish. And through your investigatory school that you had us do, we're doing our due diligence. And you know what? You trained us not to miss any withholds. Well, I guess that's just your poetic justice, isn't it, Marty? That the children that you trained in that hotel are gonna start to get your ethics in and get your withholds pulled, because Martin Bashir has no idea what he's doing. He could not be any more clueless if he tried. Or he just doesn't care. I don't know which one it is, and I don't even care to comment on that fact. Let's see how this ends.
We'll be back in just a moment, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel with what's coming up next on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Jimmy? And tomorrow night, from Tom Cruise to John Travolta, we take a closer look at the relationship between Scientology and celebrity and efforts by the church to draw A-list stars. And you can find more information on tonight's report on the Nightline page at abcnews.com and the original St. Petersburg Times report at tampabay.com. But that's our report for tonight for all of us at ABC News.
There you go. Tom Cruise, John Travolta. Yeah, make sure you go to our website. Make sure you check it out. Make sure that advertisers keep paying us, because aren't we so cutting edge? Aren't we so interesting? Aren't we so... Seriously? I mean, I want to make it so clear that we are not going to continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. This is what you call in Scientology getting bypassed. See, when you don't do your job, corporate media, when you get paid to do your job, when you grab advertisers because you're going to get eyeballs and you're going to get access to stories, and you purport that you have a brand that you're protecting of incredible American journalism, when you have all of that and you still don't do your job, you have no excuse. So now we have to bypass you, which means we have to carry your water, because we are sick of the willful blindness. Every time, every day you guys cash a check and pretend you're blind and pretend you have no idea what goes on in those hotels, though you had the most intimate level of access to the so-called defectors. But yet you still could not have a clue about what's going on in those hotels. Well, it sucks to be you, to have that little care, to not want to do a job that you're getting paid to do. But don't worry, we will do it for you. So that's all I'm going to say on this one, guys. I know it's a lot, and we will uncover the corruption because there is no other choice. Corruption needs a certain type of environment for it to reproduce, for it to breathe. Just like cancer, every part of the environment needs to be there for that cancer to start attacking other cells, for that cancer to start metastasizing. And as much as the media wants to claim that they're the victims here, because how would we know anything? They are the enablers, and they are the ones that laundered the image of Marty Rathbun and have since forgotten about anything going on in those hotels. Their editors are petrified to touch the story with a 10-foot pole. Gee, I wonder why. Wonder. So, like and subscribe. Help us. Like, we need it. I appreciate all the messages. I appreciate all the support. And I know that the clock is ticking backwards now, because this problem is not going to continue. Once we get the facts exposed, it's over to you, people, to defend the indefensible. Bye.